7. The Joy of Giving. Words of Wisdom. A smile that brightens up the face, a sparkle that lights the eyes, these are the beautiful gifts of giving and sharing. This story is about the war between the America and Japan. Here we will talk about one brave man who was the captain of American ship. His name was Jack. He was a very brave man, and along with that he always helped others. It was when Japanese planes and Japanese ships destroyed their enemy ship, that is Jack's ship, with their bombs, and whole of the American ship sank into the ocean. Only at that time it was Jack who saved himself as well as all of his crewmates who were badly injured. We must learn something from Jack. We must never think of doing sacrifices, even if the sacrifice takes a lot of our own self. We must donate. Donation will always give us happiness. So let us read this story to understand what happened. It was a time of World War II. The American boat PT-109, 70 feet in length, patrolled the rough seas of Solomon Islands in an attempt to sink Japanese ships. This PT-109, piloted by the young Captain Jack, seemed to be indestructible. The time was hardly 2 a.m. and there was pitch darkness everywhere. Suddenly, Jack saw above his head Japanese float planes streaking across the sky in search of American torpedo boats which they wanted to blow to pieces. Jack, who was at the wheel, brought his boat to a dead halt, and the stillness that followed might have allowed you to hear a pin drop. Yet they were seen by a nearby destroyer Japanese ship, and it was the darkness that kept the boat almost invisible. So it was very late in the night, and the Japanese boats and Japanese planes were searching for Jack's ship. It was Jack who made his ship into a complete silence, like a pin drop silence, so that the Japanese enemies could not find them. But even after that, the Japanese boat caught the American ship. A monstrous yell broke the silence, and the Japanese destroyer ship dashed towards the boat. Before the idling engines of PT-109 could be throttled full, there was a loud crash. The boat burst into flames. The destroyer had blown the boat to pieces. When Jack regained his consciousness, he could see four of the crew clinging to the wreckage. Captain Jack shouted, "Harris, can you give a hand to McMahon, who is badly hurt?" Courageous Jack dived into the sea, reached McMahon, and brought him to the wreckage. Now, what is wreckage? When the ship was destroyed, it had a lot of planks of wood which were floating on the water. Now these were known as wreckage, which helped all of the American soldiers to save their lives from sinking. Then Jack dived again, and this time he held Harris, who had his leg badly hurt and hence could not swim. So their boat was destroyed by Japanese ship, and after that they all were sinking in the ocean, but it was Jack who saved all of the other people, including McMahon and Harris, with his courageous and brave activity. Everybody was in great despair. There was no hope, especially for the marine who had his stomach full of gasoline and seawater. The first gleam of morning was shimmering in the eastern sky. The northern skies reflected the fury of war. So they were suffering the whole night until when it came out the morning of the next day, they were saying that the sun was rising through the east. What shall we do if the Japs show their dirty faces again? Japs means Japanese soldiers, asked Jack the skipper. Fight, shouted all. There wasn't a thing to fight with except a submachine gun and a pistol. So, because their ship was completely sank, so every weapon was also sank in the ocean. They only had a submachine gun and a pistol. Okay, everyone hang to anything and hurt for that small island, said Jack, and I will take care of McMahon. Everybody started off. Jack toed Mac with a strap which he gripped between his teeth. Soon Jack was ahead of others. Now and then the skipper would stop to take his breath. "How are you, Mac?" was his oft-repeated question. They swam for 5 long hours. They reached the shore after staying in the dangerous water for 15 hours. So it was morning when all of them were still in water, but they all tried to find an nearby island where they could go to save their lives. And it was Jack who was continuously helping McMahon to swim all through the water by holding a rope in his teeth, which McMahon held from behind. Jack knew that he might have a chance to meet some boats of his squadron, means his helpers, beyond the next island, but the Japanese might come on the way. Dusk fell. Jack knew that the sea was rough and infested with sharks and sea fish who could swallow a man alive in no time. Yet Jack, with a life jacket, flung himself into those waters and continued to swim. He was chilled to the bones and absolutely numb with cold. So after that, it was in the late evening when Jack again thought that he should go and ask for the help from the American soldiers who were there in the sea. But he also thought that there might be some dangerous animals which could eat him alive. But then also he swam through the sea to seek help from those American soldiers. People on the shore naturally thought that nobody would have survived in such circumstances. Thus, at that very moment, at the naval base, a memorial service for the men of PT 109 was being held. Jack's mother received the heart-rending telegram that informed her that Jack was probably dead. But against all odds, Jack survived the war. The Jack of raw courage and heroic charity was none other than the late President of United States of America, Jack Kennedy. So after that, it was because of Jack all of them survived through accident, and Jack saved all of the other lives. And after that, Jack was awarded with a prize, and after that he became the President of United States of America, Jack Kennedy. Love is not in taking but in giving. There is no happiness in loving only those who give us something. There is no happiness in doing a favor only when easy. Happiness can be derived only by going out of the way to help others. Our parents make so many sacrifices for us. It is their love towards us that make all inconveniences welcome. The next time you are asked to do a favor or to help, don't be calculative and think of how you will benefit. There is a great joy in giving. So always remember that whenever you donate something, whenever you sacrifice for someone else, you always get happiness. And this is what we call love for others.